Hey, loves. Welcome to Inner Love Messages. My name is Sarah, and if you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. If you're already subscribed, welcome back. Now, let's dive deeply into today's message because there's an undeniable sense of urgency surrounding the energy I'm tapping into. The overall vibration feels light, almost airy, yet there is an undercurrent of something significant, something your person truly wants you to know. This could be about themselves, your connection, or even a revelation they have had about you. There is a stirring in their heart space, a need to express something that has been lingering beneath the surface. To gain deeper insight into what they are feeling, I'll be pulling from the Inner Love Messages deck to uncover the emotions and thoughts they may have been keeping hidden. The first message that comes through is powerful. I was testing you. This statement alone carries a weight that needs to be unpacked. As I tune into this energy, I'm receiving two distinct interpretations. The first is deeply spiritual. This person had already been manifesting you, even if they weren't consciously aware of it. On some level, they were calling in a connection that resonated with their soul, something more meaningful and fulfilling than what they had previously encountered. Whether through silent prayers, daydreams, or even an unspoken longing, they were sending out signals to the universe, asking for someone who could truly see and understand them. Then, you appeared. Your presence in their life was not accidental, it was the answer to their subconscious calling. However, when this person encountered you, their immediate reaction was not one of instant surrender, but rather one of cautious observation. They needed to test the waters to see if what they had been hoping for was truly real. This wasn't done with malicious intent, but rather out of self-protection. Life had likely taught them hard lessons about love, lessons that made them wary of giving their heart away too quickly. They wanted to know if you were genuine, if your intentions matched theirs, and if you would truly stand by their side even when things weren't easy. For some of you, this testing might have shown up in small, almost imperceptible ways, subtle behaviors, questions designed to gauge your reactions, or moments where they pulled back just to see if you would reach for them. For others, it may have felt more intense, like they were placing you in emotional situations to determine your loyalty, patience, or willingness to understand them on a deeper level. Whatever the case may be, their actions were never about doubting you as a person. Rather, they were trying to confirm if the connection between you was as authentic as it felt. But here's the thing. They now realize they didn't need to test you at all. Looking back, they see that you were always sincere, always showing up with an open heart. There is a strong sense of regret coming through. Perhaps they fear that their actions may have pushed you away or caused unnecessary confusion. They are beginning to understand that love isn't about proving something. It's about trust, surrender, and mutual vulnerability. At this moment, they are feeling the weight of their own guardedness. There's an inner conflict within them because they want to move forward, to let you in fully, but they are also wrestling with the old patterns that once made them believe love had to be tested before it could be trusted. They are learning that love, at its purest, is not about passing trials, but about showing up, being present, and allowing themselves to be seen without fear. So, what does this mean for you? If you have sensed a distance, if there have been moments where this person seemed hesitant or inconsistent, understand that it wasn't about a lack of feelings. On the contrary, their emotions for you run deep, so deep that they felt the need to guard their heart before fully embracing the connection, but their soul knows the truth. The walls they built are beginning to crumble, and with that, a realization is dawning upon them. You were never meant to be tested. You were meant to be loved. The deeper message coming through here is one of realization, growth, and the often overlooked test that life and the universe present us with. At first glance, it seemed as though they were the ones in control, assessing you, putting you through unseen challenges, measuring your responses, and perhaps even questioning your authenticity. But what they failed to recognize at the time was that the real test wasn't yours to take, it was theirs. The universe was presenting them with exactly what they had been asking for, yet instead of embracing it, they hesitated, wavered, and allowed their doubts to cloud what was meant for them. This is a common human experience, one that plays out in different areas of life. Whether it's love, career, personal growth, or even spiritual evolution, people often believe they are the ones doing the choosing, the ones making the decisions. They spend time manifesting, wishing, hoping for something better, something more fulfilling. They ask for deeper connections, more meaningful relationships, a love that feels safe, nurturing, and true. And then, when it finally arrives, something within them resists. Fear creeps in, doubt takes hold. Suddenly, the mind begins spinning stories, Am I really ready for this? Do I even deserve it? Is this truly what I wanted, or was I wrong all along? This is exactly what happened with your person. They had reached a point in their journey where shallow, surface-level interactions no longer satisfied them. They longed for a connection that felt like home, someone with whom they could be vulnerable without fear of judgment, someone who wouldn't just listen to their words but would understand the emotions behind them. And then they met you. You were the embodiment of everything they had been yearning for, the safe space they had been subconsciously searching for. But rather than stepping fully into the connection, they found themselves putting up walls, creating barriers, and, in a way, testing you, perhaps without even realizing it. The irony is that every time they tested you, you showed up. You proved, time and time again, that you were real, that your presence in their life was intentional, that you weren't going anywhere unless they pushed you away. And yet they still hesitated, not because of anything you did wrong, but because they were battling their own internal struggles. They were faced with a mirror, forced to confront parts of themselves they hadn't fully healed. The love they had been asking for arrived, and instead of welcoming it, they questioned it, fearing that something so good might not be real, or that they might not be enough to sustain it. Yes, before watching the full video, I wanted to say one thing. If you appreciate my hard work in this reading, please donate a super thanks in your name as a token of love. Now, as clarity settles in, they are beginning to understand that the true test was never about you proving your worth. It was about them proving to themselves that they were ready to receive what they had been asking for. And in many ways, they stumbled. They allowed fear to dictate their actions, and in doing so, they missed an opportunity to embrace something rare and profound. But the beautiful thing about life and the lessons it brings is that growth is always possible. The universe doesn't punish, it teaches. Whether or not they have fully grasped the lesson yet, one thing is clear. They now see that what they thought was a test for you was, in reality, a test for them. And while they may not have passed in the way they initially intended, this realization in itself is a step towards transformation. The message coming through is deeply revealing. I can't hide from you. These words carry a weight far beyond their simplicity. They tell a story of someone who, perhaps for the first time, was confronted with the depth of their own emotions in a way they had never experienced before. You were not just another person in their life, you were a mirror, reflecting back to them the rawest and most unfiltered parts of themselves, their fears, insecurities, and deepest desires. Throughout their journey with you, they realized that their usual patterns no longer worked. Where they may have once masked their emotions with charm, avoidance, or even defensiveness, none of it could deceive you. You saw past the facade, past the carefully chosen words and rehearsed behaviors. Every time they tried to retreat into old habits, you gently but firmly brought them back to the truth. You challenged them, not aggressively, but in a way that forced them to examine their own heart and intentions. This was something unfamiliar, yet strangely comforting. It was as if you were the catalyst for an awakening they didn't even know they needed. Your presence was like a light piercing through the darkness of their subconscious, illuminating truths they had long avoided. They had spent so much time hiding from others, from love, from themselves. But with you, there was no place left to run. And deep down, despite the fear it triggered, a part of them wanted this. They had unknowingly longed for someone who could truly see them, beyond their words and actions, beyond their defenses. But here's where the paradox set in. When they finally encountered what they had been seeking, they recoiled. It was almost too real, too pure, too honest. They had spent so long convincing themselves that deep, unfiltered connection was either unattainable or too dangerous to pursue. Now faced with the very thing they had wished for, they began to question everything. Could they handle this level of vulnerability? Did they truly deserve it? What if it all fell apart? What if they weren't capable of being fully seen without eventually being rejected? These questions haunted them, leading them to hesitate, to pull back just when they should have leaned in. It was a battle between the part of them that yearned for unconditional acceptance and the part that feared what might happen if they let their guard down completely. You weren't just someone they liked or cared about. You represented something much deeper, a place of safety, of warmth, of unshakable understanding. You embodied everything they had hoped to find in another human being, someone who wouldn't judge, someone spiritual, someone strong yet soft, firm yet forgiving, someone who saw love as something beyond the superficial, yet the very depth of what you offered became overwhelming. Love like this forces a person to grow, to evolve, to shed old versions of themselves, and that is never easy. But even in their hesitation, in their fear, in their questioning, one truth remained unshaken. They couldn't hide from you. You were different. You were rare, and whether they were ready to accept it or not, your presence changed them in ways they may never fully express. They want you to know that they finally see it, the truth you recognized long before they were ready to acknowledge it. They can no longer hide from you, from themselves, or from the reality they once resisted. If you ever questioned them, if you ever pointed out the inconsistencies between their words and actions, or if you held them accountable when something felt off, you were not being unreasonable. You were not imagining things, overthinking, or making assumptions. You were seeing what they weren't prepared to face, and now, in this moment of clarity, they realized that you were right all along. This realization hasn't come easily. It's the result of deep internal shifts, a transformation happening on multiple levels: spiritual, emotional, and even physical. The world around them is changing, and they are not immune to its effects. Old patterns, outdated beliefs, and relationships that no longer align with their true selves are dissolving, making way for something more authentic. They may not have consciously chosen this path, but life has a way of nudging people toward alignment, whether they're ready for it or not. And now, they are beginning to embrace what feels right, rather than clinging to what once felt familiar. Even if they haven't reached out, even if they haven't spoken the words aloud, you can likely feel the shift in their energy. It's lighter, more open, as if they are slowly shedding the burdens they've carried for so long. There's a release happening, perhaps subtle at first, but undeniable. However, they may not be ready to talk about it just yet. They are still processing, still piecing together the lessons and the meaning behind everything they've experienced. They want to reach a point of clarity and understanding before they bring it to you. They don't want to share something that still feels incomplete or unresolved. And yet, despite the silence, despite the space between you, the connection remains. The truth has a way of surfacing when the time is right. So, trust that they are on their journey, just as you are on yours. Whatever is meant to unfold will do so in its own perfect timing. This transformation is not just a fleeting moment of change. It is a deep soul-level shift, one that has been a long time coming. For so long, they have been caught in patterns that felt impossible to break, weighed down by the past, by fears, by self-imposed limitations. But something within them has shifted, a spark ignited by the realization that they cannot continue in the same cycles if they truly want to step into the life they've been yearning for. This journey has felt like a test, a series of challenges from the universe, almost as if some unseen force was asking, "Are you really ready?" And now, after everything, they finally are. The resistance they once felt is melting away, and the path before them is beginning to clear. They are standing at the threshold of a new beginning, eager, perhaps more than ever, to move forward without the weight of the past dragging them down. Before moving forward with the reading, I would like to say one thing: that if you love my readings and it is fitting in your personal life, then please encourage me by taking membership from the join button. In clearing space for what they truly desire, they have had to confront the hardest truths about themselves. If at times it seemed like they were questioning you, your intentions, your presence in their life, even your worth, it was never really about you. That uncertainty, that doubt, was a reflection of the battles they were fighting within themselves. They projected outward what they struggled to face within, a mirror of their own fears and insecurities. But deep down, even in moments of confusion, there was something undeniable pulling them toward you, something they couldn't quite explain but couldn't ignore either. You were never the problem. In many ways, you were the catalyst, the force that pushed them to examine their own energy, their thoughts, their patterns, the very things they had been running from for so long. And now, the message coming through is unmistakably clear. I'd risk it all for you. These words hold the weight of all the realizations they have come to, all the inner battles they have fought and won. Behind the scenes, they are making massive moves, shifts that may not yet be visible but are happening nonetheless. Once, they resisted. Once, they held back, feeling unsteady in the presence of something so powerful, something that forced them to evolve. But now, they are choosing differently. The fear that once gripped them is loosening, and in its place is a willingness to take the leap, to risk comfort for something greater, something real. Because at the heart of it all, you were never just another person passing through their life. You were the reason they had to wake up. You were the reason they had to grow, and now, They are ready. Ready to step forward. Ready to embrace this transformation. Ready to risk it all for you. You may not even realize just how much they've had to change, to grow, to evolve in order to align with this connection. What might seem like small adjustments from the outside are, in reality, profound internal shifts. Emotionally, mentally, and even practically, they've had to break free from long-standing cycles, unlearn habits that kept them stuck, and redefine what they once believed to be true about love, relationships, and even themselves. These transformations aren't easy, nor are they immediate. They have spent years, perhaps even a lifetime, building certain attachments, holding on to specific identities, and surrounding themselves with people, places, and routines that once felt like home. Now, everything is shifting. They are stepping away from what no longer resonates, consciously releasing parts of their past that no longer fit the person they are becoming. This isn't just about emotions. This is about real, tangible change. They are making choices that require sacrifice, choices that demand courage. They want you to know that nothing about this has been simple, and yet, despite the risks, they are choosing this path because they believe in it. They believe in you. They believe in the life they see when they imagine a future with you. Every step they take toward this connection is a step away from familiarity, but it is also a step towards something far greater, something that fills them with hope, purpose, and a sense of belonging they have never truly felt before. And then, there's the exhaustion. The emotional toll of being in two worlds at once. The reality they live every day, full of responsibilities, expectations, and routines, feels like a stark contrast to the reality they feel when they think of you. In their heart, they are already with you. They carry you with them through every moment, every decision, every quiet thought in between conversations and obligations. Yet the physical distance, the circumstances keeping you apart weigh on them more than you might realize. I'm tired of doing this without you. These words aren't just an expression of longing. They are a plea, a raw and vulnerable confession of just how much they need you. Without you, the world feels heavier. The weight of everything they carry becomes harder to bear. You are their sanctuary, their source of light. With you, they feel understood, uplifted, and seen in a way no one else has ever made them feel. When they are with you, the confusion fades, the burdens lighten, and everything seems clearer, more vibrant, more real. They are tired of pretending that life without you is enough, because the truth is, it isn't. Every day apart only deepens their certainty that you are the missing piece, the one thing that makes all of this worth it. And no matter how much effort it takes, no matter what they have to let go of, they are willing to do what it takes to close the distance and finally be where they truly belong, with you. Your energy is far more powerful than you might realize. Every thought you have, every word you speak, and every intention you set ripples through the universe, shaping not only your own reality but also the dynamic of this profound connection. Whether you are consciously aware of it or not, you are the anchor of this love. The stabilizing force that keeps it grounded even in moments of uncertainty. Your presence is magnetic, your essence irreplaceable, and the energy you radiate has the power to transform everything around you. They are beginning to understand this now in ways they never have before. The distance they once maintained, whether out of fear, confusion, or self-doubt, is no longer serving them. In fact, it has become unbearable. Every moment apart only reinforces what they've known deep down all along. You are an intrinsic part of their journey, an essential presence in their life. They think about you constantly, your voice echoing in their mind, your wisdom guiding them even when you're not there. It's not just a fleeting desire or momentary longing. It's a need, an undeniable pull toward the person who makes them feel most alive. The illusion of separation is beginning to crumble. For so long, they convinced themselves that this connection could be ignored, compartmentalized, or explained away. But that false sense of control is slipping through their fingers. The signs are everywhere. The synchronicities are undeniable. No matter how much they've tried to resist, the truth remains unchanged. This is something bigger than either of you, something destined, something divine. This is more than just a relationship. It's a soul-deep recognition, a calling, a twin flame connection that transcends logic, time, and space. They are finally seeing things clearly, as if a veil has been lifted from their eyes. Every challenge, every separation, every moment of doubt was a test, a lesson meant to awaken them to the truth. And while they may have questioned you, doubted your role in their life, or even pushed you away, the real test was never about you. It was about them. It was about whether they were ready to embrace what they had asked for, what they had prayed for, what they had been seeking their entire life. The universe answered them by bringing you into their life, but fear clouded their judgment. Fear told them this was too intense, too overwhelming, too much. But now they are waking up. The fear that once held them back is beginning to dissolve, replaced by an unshakable knowing that this connection is real, undeniable, and worth fighting for. They are reaching a point where they can no longer run, no longer deny, no longer suppress what is in their heart. They are ready, not just to acknowledge the truth but to act on it, to choose love over fear, to step forward with certainty, to embrace what was always meant to be. And when they do, the world will shift. The energy between you will realign, and everything that once seemed impossible will suddenly feel inevitable, because love, true, destined, divine love, always finds its way home. And they are finally ready to go after what they truly want. They are ready for you. The last message they sent lingers in the air. Promise me you won't give up on me. These words carry the weight of vulnerability, a desperate plea wrapped in hope. It's as if I can see them in my mind's eye, climbing a steep mountain. Their hands gripping onto the jagged edges of their past, pulling themselves up despite the exhaustion. Each step is a battle, each breath a reminder of the struggle they face within themselves. And yet, they push forward, because something deep inside tells them that at the peak of this journey, something greater awaits. They want to rise. They want to evolve. They want to be worthy of this love, worthy of you. The image is clear. The divine feminine stands at the summit, her presence radiating strength and grace, reaching out with an open hand. She is the embodiment of transformation, of sacred wisdom, of unconditional love. And your person sees this now. They have come to understand that the life they have been living no longer feeds their soul. The distractions, the detours, the patterns that kept them trapped in cycles of comfort and fear, all of it is crumbling. A greater calling is stirring within them, urging them to step forward into a life of deeper meaning. And they know you're a part of this journey, but they can also feel your energy shifting. Perhaps you have been waiting for them longer than you ever intended. Perhaps you've grown tired, uncertain of how much longer you can hold space for them. They can sense it, even if you haven't said a word. The silent moments between you are louder than any conversation. They are waking up to the possibility that if they do not rise, they may lose you forever. And that is a reality they are not willing to accept. This journey has tested both of you in ways neither of you expected. It has forced patience, surrender, and a level of trust that only the strongest souls can endure. But something is changing. The energy of 2025 is unlike anything before. It is a time of alignment, a time when the old falls away to make space for something entirely new. The beliefs that once kept them stagnant are dissolving. The walls they built around their heart are beginning to crack, and through those cracks, the light is breaking through. This is not just about love. It is about purpose. It is about stepping fully into who they are meant to be. And you, whether you realize it or not, are the catalyst. You are the reflection that has shown them the truth they tried to deny. And now, standing on the edge of transformation, they are asking you for one thing. Please don't give up on me. Because they are still climbing, and when they reach the top, they want you to be there, waiting, not as a savior, but as an equal. Both of you standing in your power, ready to embrace the future that was always meant to be. This reading affirms that your presence in their life was never a matter of chance. It was a manifestation of their deepest desires, a calling that their soul made long before they even recognized it. You are the embodiment of everything they silently wished for, even if they did not realize it at first. It has taken time for them to see the truth, to understand that you were not just another passing connection, but a profound and divinely orchestrated part of their journey. For some, this realization comes with a wave of guilt. They may have unknowingly resisted or even pushed you away, despite the fact that, deep down, they craved the very things you offered: unwavering love, a safe space for open and honest communication, and a bond that could withstand the tests of time. They were given all of this through you, but their heart was not yet ready to receive it. There were wounds still left unhealed, fears still lurking in the shadows, and emotional barriers that had to be broken down before they could truly embrace the connection. Now that transformation is unfolding. Though you may not see it directly, behind the scenes, a powerful shift is taking place. The divine masculine has awakened, and divine intervention is actively at work in their life. A higher force is guiding them through the necessary lessons, pulling them into alignment with their true purpose and pushing them toward the love they have been destined to experience. The healing they once resisted is now happening in ways they never expected, bringing them closer to the clarity they need. Your person wants you to know that they finally understand the doubts, fears, and uncertainties that once clouded their vision are dissolving. They now see the significance of what you share and recognize that this connection is unlike anything they have ever known. They don't want you to give up on them, even if the road has been long and uncertain. No matter how challenging the journey may be, they are now willing to take the necessary steps, however daunting, to bring this connection into balance. There is a deep longing within them, an urgency to mend what was broken and bridge the gap that once seemed insurmountable. They are prepared to take risks, to fight against the fears that held them back, and to finally meet you with the same depth of love and commitment that you have so patiently given. So, if you have been wondering whether they still think about you, whether they still care, or whether this connection was ever truly meant to be, this is your confirmation. They do. They always have. And now, more than ever, they are being guided to step forward, to heal, and to embrace the love that was written in the stars for both of you. This is the message for today. Trust in the divine timing, for what is meant for you is unfolding exactly as it should. If you're finding value in this content, consider supporting our channel by giving a super thanks. It truly makes a difference. And please don't forget to subscribe for more uplifting updates and content that can inspire and encourage you. Your support means so much, and we are grateful for each of you.